Start. We are back to the warehouse for Blitzball Battle 5. Baggage is so back. Let's talk Blitzball. Welcome to the Blitzball Boys, a podcast about Blitzball and boys, but lately about boys. I'm your co-host, Brendan Ruppel, along with my fellow host, Peter Del Rey.
Hey, Brendan.
Our guys are back.
Our guys are back.
Our guys are back.
Our guys are back. Everybody's favorite.
TPPs.
You
Championship
did.
winners.
You did.
Might have giggled through
You know
but I
what's
said it.
so funny to me? So, we posted our TPPs. Brendan posted like little snippets on the Twitter to, he posted little snippets on Twitter to get everybody like excited and get people over here, right? Marketing tactic. Everybody knows how that works. Brendan posted our predictions where we said that Baggage, their ceiling is probably the semifinals, to which, famously, if you follow us on the Twitter, Jimmy responded and said, you know what? I'll take semifinals, given how bad Baggage has been performing this year. And
so
now...
does that mean they're punting? They know that he knows that they only made it to the semifinals and then they got demolished by Lovius?
Well, no, I'm not even going to say that. And now... like, here we are, where not only are they here, they have a potential, and I was telling you this before, to be one of the top two teams in this tournament. It's unfortunate they, are going to be playing Lovias next.
Yeah.
But
how good do you feel if you take down Lovias? Not to spoil thoughts for later, but...
I mean, how good do you feel going into that game alone? Like, we could talk. We're getting dangerously close to talking about this game before you burn it. So how about you burn it, and then we'll start talking about it again.
Okay. It's Baggage versus Woogas, and Woogas even cares about the guys in orange. Baggage is so back, and they dragged their nuts all over the warehouse to announce themselves as the best team in the tournament. Team Baggage embarrasses Woogas 10-2. That's the whole thing.
That was awesome. You can hear. So Brendan famously has always said he's a Baggage fan from the beginning. As you know, I'd say most people who watch the channel are. You're either originally a We Got Ice fan who watches this, or you're a John Boy fan and you love John Boy, you love Jake, you want to see them succeed. Who did we talk to who said everybody starts off as a Baggage fan?
Was it Lucas
Jack?
DeVersa maybe said that?
Maybe Lucas DeVersa. I want to say it was either Jack or Zoe.
Mm-hmm.
We've had talks with like Jolly Olive as well off of this. Not that was like a personal on Twitter where he said, everybody starts off as a Baggage fan because they were all John Boy fans before they came
here. Or like
here.
Back Alley at Bats fans, whatever, they saw that first,
You hear how excited Brendan got in that burn? Just go and rewind it and listen to that again. Brendan is fucking pumped. I'm fucking pumped. We love Jimmy. We love Dan Rourke. But it's something different when you see Baggage winning again. And you see Baggage like going back. Like you're getting glimpses of BB1 when Baggage made it to the final against Forgotten Rotten. And they beat Forgotten Rotten the first time around because it was a double elimination tournament at the time. Mm-hmm. And then except for the final was one game. So they beat Forgotten Rotten. And you're like, Baggage could do this. Into the next 3 tournaments where they fell off so hard. Mm-hmm. BB2, BB3, BB4, never been back to a final. With the last 2 tournaments, I'm pretty sure they played their 2 mandated games and then they lost in the next one.
Yeah.
But they come back, and if I were to have told you, Brendan, going into this game, one of these teams is going to decimate the other in the first truly like dominant performance in the warehouse this tournament, would you have predicted it be Woogas or Baggage to be the victors?
You have to pick. It's supposed to be Woogas. You have Jimmy Norp, who has been one of the top 2 or 3 hitters in this tournament. Like he's been great since he showed up last tournament. But he's been great in this one too. He's gotten better as the tournament's gone on. He's pitched great to this point too. Before this game, he hadn't let up any walks even. And everything fell apart. It wasn't just like it was a Dan Rourke story where he had to get his 2 outs and he couldn't throw a strike. He was not really the problem, that he thinks otherwise, obviously.
Right.
Because that's Dan Rourke for you. Well, to go to death, feel bad that things shook out the way they did for him, and he feels shitty about himself because he did have a good tournament, and I hope he can build on things from here. But Jimmy Norp knows he was the real problem. He didn't really hit until it was too late, and he let up this lead.
Well, I mean, but even you talk about this before, right? Not only was Jimmy great, Dan Rourke was also great this tournament.
Yeah.
From the pitching side, I mean, he doubled his walks in this game alone. He really didn't give up very many runs. He's been really, really good on the mound. And then in this game, I don't think it's as much Dan let himself down as it is that Jake and Jimmy are just on a fucking heater right now.
Yeah.
On both sides of the ball. It's kind of nuts. I have a line. I don't know if you saw my notes, Brendan, but I have a line in here where going into this game, we've been talking about Jimmy Norp being potential MVP for the whole tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote that Jimmy Norp is the avatar. Why is that?
Because he can control all 4 elements?
Because when the world needed him most, he disappeared.
Wow.
Kind of crazy,
tough.
Right?
It's tough.
Really, Jimmy had his worst performance that we'd ever seen in the warehouse, letting up 8 runs, or 8 runs being assigned to him.
Right.
Not finishing. He only recorded 1 out.
Blame could be given to him, maybe a little bit less, but about that, it makes sense.
1 out.
Yeah.
It's tough to say blame, though.
Right.
It is tough to say blame because it's not like, I mean, he was wild for sure. Coming into the game, giving up 0 walks, then giving up 3 walks in this game alone is crazy. He was off. Something was off. But at the same time, Jimmy and Jake were just on everything. Jimmy somehow has this knack this tournament for finding the sweet spot of the bat.
Mm-hmm.
It's gotten to the point where if you told me a week ago, oh, Love Yous versus Baggage, I'd be like, okay, Love Yous wins this easy. It's gotten to the point where I don't know. I don't know if Nicky's pitching is good enough to avoid Jimmy's bat.
I don't know if it is either. He hasn't been as dominant as he has been in the past, and Jimmy seems to be finding.
Same with Dalton.
If you're not perfect, Jimmy's going to find barrel to ball. He's been preaching this style of hitting in the warehouse for a long time. I think he just hasn't perfected it until this season. In the past, when he's been hitting and trying to get the barrel to the ball quickly, he's been chopping at it, and that makes for a lot of the classic Baggage singles, the single parade that we see from them a lot of times. He's figured out a little bit of a better launch angle and is now launching the ball all over the place. We saw him with a lot of slug in this game. And even when he's not, he's hitting the ball as hard as shit on the ground too. And Jake started to join the party too. I think sometimes those sort of things are infectious a little bit. And if your buddy's hitting like crazy and hitting at almost an 800 clip, it's only natural that you're going to see a lot of pitches in the zone because you're the lesser of the two at this point. That gives you an opportunity to see good pitches and finally put some good swings in the ball. To go back to Jimmy Norp too, and
real quick before we do that, you're talking about Baggage being like the singles parade, right?
Mm-hmm.
Currently, the 2 Baggage guys are both above league average in slug. The both of them.
That's good.
So
Jake's not all the way back to his old form, but he's
he's not back to MVP Jake.
Yeah, Jimmy's there.
But Jimmy's fucking Jesus. I don't know.
Jake,
if they get eliminated next game, it's going to be tough. It's between Dalton and Jimmy, right, for MVP.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, okay, now go ahead. You were talking about Jimmy Norp.
So we were talking about what was wrong with him. They talked about it a little bit in the booth and how he really couldn't find his secondary stuff. He couldn't find the breaking balls. So what he did have was his screwball, mostly like the 3/4 arm slot, sometimes like the straight underarm, but they're more or less the same pitch with a little bit of different shape. And knowing that's the only thing that Jimmy Norp's really going to throw at you, it makes it really easy to fully eliminate anything going right to left, really.
Right.
And not to say anything against the way Baggage performed, because even if you know what's coming, it doesn't make it 100% that you're going to doesn't make it 100% that you're going to actually hit that pitch. You still have to do the job at hitting these pitches that are moving like fucking crazy anyway. But I think it says a lot about both. It says a lot that it makes sense that Jimmy Norp performed like shit, and it makes sense that Jimmy, who's on fire, was not missing pitches that he knew were coming. Because that's what a real hot hitter is doing, is if they know something's coming or there's a mistake pitch, they're not missing the mistakes. And that's what Jimmy Norp was doing when he was throwing those balls. A lot of them were going to be middle, because he was struggling to find anything. So when he's going to get you over the plate, it's going to be the fat part of the plate. Sorry.
You better be.
Sorry. You're thin.
Thanks, Brendan. I know I am.
You're scaring me.
I'm a spooky guy.
You're a spooky guy.
Brendan.
You ever see Scary?
Brendan,
Listen
Brendan.
to our last episode towards the end where Peter begs you to comment. It's scary.
Yeah, I'm pretty intimidating.
But slightly sexy.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit of sex appeal. Mm-hmm. As you can see. Baggage being the first team to successfully avoid the skunk is...
It's true. Could have been 3 for 3.
Kind of crazy. You come in and you say, hey, 2 of these teams are going to avoid the skunk this year. It's going to be Del Caribe, it's going to be We Got Ice, or it's going to be Baggage. Which one's avoiding it? I think unanimously people would pick We Got Ice.
Right.
Jimmy very funnily said that it's going to be a really awful drawing now of a skunk. He said it's going to be so bad now that we don't have to wear it. Very funny, Jimmy. Very funny.
It was at points. It was crazy to realize that We Got Ice was in the running for one in the first place. It's like, how'd they get here?
Well, we talked about that all
we talked about it,
2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
But it is crazy. Baggage also kind of like, I mean, I thought Baggage would have gotten points in floorball and
ball and play.
Mm-hmm, at the very least.
Yeah. But they got him here.
But man, I want like Jimmy getting 2 home runs, right? Jimmy Norp, first off, only getting 1 out in the first inning, letting up 1 home run to Jimmy, and then Dan Rourke walks in a run, and then Jimmy Norp coming back in to let up a grand slam that only counts for 1 run to Jake.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the back end, right, in the second inning, Jimmy again, fair ball single after, getting 2 walks and a hit to load the bases. Jake gets a fair ball single. Jimmy hits a home run or hits a double for 2 more runs. Jake hits another single, and then, the last one was on Dan, but like Jimmy gets John Boy gets the double. Jimmy says, I'm done. I can't pitch anymore today. Mm-hmm. And then Dan comes in and they max it out again. First 10 spot of the tournament. Like,
yeah.
I know we're saying we're blaming Jimmy Norp, which is rude, but we're the mean boys now.
The mean boys.
I don't know how much blame you could give him though, because Baggage is just on a fucking heater and they're doing so well.
Right. Yeah, it's not like they're making perfect pitches and they were just slugging them anyway, but that's not what baseball is. Sometimes.
Jimmy's eye was incredible. Jimmy and Jake were both taking pitches that were so close to the zone.
They were making great takes. You're absolutely right about that. And it's easy to still like pop some of those balls up because even though he was pitching a lot of the same type of pitch, it moves so much you could easily top it off for soft contact or pop it up for a warehouse ball. And how hard is it, speaking from experience for both of us being mega athletes, how hard is it when you have special guests watching you to perform well too? And
who could you be talking about?
Jimmy had his mom and dad there, and I would have crumbled.
Oh,
crumbled if Jimmy's parents came to my game.
I was going to say, if your parents came to the game, I think
I would be a little scared.
I'd be terrified.
Dad dug mom up.
No. I wasn't going to tell anybody. I was just going to let that be a joke for me and you.
Nobody heard it.
Nobody heard it. Nobody listens to this. Oh, Norton just popped up on my computer and said I'm being tracked.
Watch it.
You're completely right, though. I feel like whenever I've played Blitzball, I've always played my worst when my wife is watching because I'm like, oh, I can't let her think I'm a weenie.
Yeah, or like I've had the issue. I've talked about this on every podcast I've ever done.
Every single one?
Every single one. You make one error in the field, it's all downhill from there. You start to
famously had the yips.
Got the yips. I think I was okay. I think as long as I don't get that initial fuck up, smooth sailing. So maybe that's what happened to Jimmy too. He had that big home run, starting to feel himself, and just couldn't stop.
I mean, it happens, right? Like we talked about last episode. Chris Rose said in the big leagues, there's 388 games a year, and people go cold for weeks. In the warehouse, you go cold, it's a death sentence.
When you go cold, you like overthink it too, and you're just so in your head. And when you're hot, you feel like you can do nothing wrong. You're just like up there, seeing the ball, hitting the ball.
Jimmy famously, in this game, being like, "We're not allowed to talk about it, but I can't get out.
I can't get out."
Very funny.
Can't do anything wrong.
Great entertainment. I love Jimmy. I love seeing Jimmy happy.
Yeah,
it's some of my favorite things. I love seeing Jake happy.
He's so giddy, but he's trying so hard not to be
giddy. Jake's arms are so huge.
He's got crazy biceps. Crazy biceps.
They're insane. Jake, please, Jake, write to us somewhere.
Besides curls, please.
Yeah, let us know. Is that all you do? Do you only work out your biceps, Jake? I don't get it. Why are they bigger than your head?
They are. I actually want you to
Jacob.
Please curl. You could probably curl me.
Famously, his name is not Jacob, dog's name. Jake is dog's name. Noodle. Jimmy also has a home run in this game, though. Jimmy Norp. We can't not talk about that. We don't want to be too rude.
He does.
Jimmy Norp famously did hit a home run in this game. It was kind of when they were just attacking the zone, trying to get a fake strikeout.
Right.
Fake strikeout's rude to say. They were trying to get a strikeout by them missing it because they had so much real estate to work with.
Right, which is the play. That's what you want to do.
Jimmy hits a home run. They don't get shut out. Very bench warmers feeling game at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Kids know what the bench warmers are, right?
I don't know.
Or anybody listening to this.
People go back and watch any baseball movie.
We
were pretty young when it came out.
The bench warmers is kind of a tough. That movie's not getting made today.
No, I haven't seen it in a long time, but I'm sure it's problematic in a lot of ways.
I liked it at the time. But
I remember loving it. I saw it in theaters.
I'm certain that game is not getting made. That movie's not getting made today.
No.
But what is getting made today is us giving our award for the.
Oh.
Do you saying "oh" is you want to say something else before we do this?
Saying "oh" to that amazing segue.
Player of the game. Segue ruined. We all know who it is. The man who got 6 RBI through 9 pitches, got 1 strikeout. Drew Davis wins it again.
Way to go, bud.
4 for 5 at the plate with 4 walks. Struck out 1 time. Every time the bat touched the ball, he safely reached base. Had a home run, a big double, and 2 singles. It's Jimmy John Boy O'Brien. He made himself the real Jimmy today. He's back. He's fully back. You know what I just thought of? Us saying that he's so back now is this guaranteeing an absolute dog shit game from Baggage
100%
next game.
Is. Yep.
I'm sorry, guys.
You did.
I blew it. Jimmy's player of the game. He's player of the game.
Though, we had it.
You know what?
He pitched well too.
He did his job on the mound. Pitched great. 9 pitches.
Yeah.
At this point, unless Dalton goes fucking nut job, I'm giving Jimmy MVP right now.
Okay.
Of the whole tournament.
He was a better hitter than Dalton.
It might be because I'm getting excited because I really love Jimmy's success.
Maybe Dalton edges him out with the pitching. But I'm with you.
Love yous haven't played in so long, Brendan.
Right.
I almost don't remember just how good Dalton is. I'm excited for the next game.
Yeah.
Because of that.
I know.
But that's my player of the game. What do you think, Brendan? What do you think?
I think it's great. I think it's the move. I don't think we did highlight enough how good Jimmy was on the mound because I guess it was only 2 outs. But sometimes that's what you need. You need the 2 outs. They were painless. They happened. He understands what his strengths are as a pitcher. He gives you the change of speeds. He also threw one pretty hard. I'm pretty sure he threw a 68-mile-per-hour fastball at some point just to mix that in there.
I don't pay attention to that.
When Jimmy or Jake threw a really hard one, I'm like, oh, okay, pop. Okay, pop. But yeah, he's got his little breaker. He's got his other weird shit that just kind of moves in all these different directions. That no one else does these bizarre sinkers. And if he can throw strikes, it works, and he seems to have taken his confidence from the plate to the mound because he knows Jake can take the bulk now. They think they've found roles for themselves on the mound, especially. So
yeah,
they got a formula.
They fixed it up. Oh wait, Brendan, do you hear that?
Yeah.
It's time for the play of the game. Should I get the button ready?
Get the button ready.
Why? Because it's our
Duck of the game. Quack, quack, quacker. Jimmy's 3-run home run to put early runs on the board and set the tone of the game is my play of the game. It set the tone of the game, and it also set the tone of the rest of his life. He's going to be a happy little chipper guy forever now.
The 2 kids didn't make him happy?
No, it never could. The wife, the kids, the family, it'll never be enough.
Wow.
The warehouse is what makes people happy.
You know, one of my favorite things we talk about a lot is seeing Jimmy happy. And Jimmy hitting the home run and playing so well in this game and kind of getting like a very bashful, like, oh, you guys. Like, that's the kind of happy that he was in this game. He's like, oh,
yeah, guys, he doesn't have, he's not like a vibrato guy at all.
No, he's a Vibrava guy, actually.
Vibrava, yeah.
Him going,
guys, a little bit of a bat flip, but like
a little bit of a bat flip.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he comes back and he's just like, like
what do you
giddy.
think, Kelsey?
I love it. Jimmy, that opened the game up for them. I think that Jimmy Norp kind of was rattled before this because he gave up his first walk, obviously, and John Boy was like getting hits off of him and all this. But
homers just aren't the thing that Baggage has done in recent years. So it really was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I mean,
a lead.
What would be poetic here? If we're gonna fantasy book the rest of the tournament, poetic victories only for Baggage. We're fantasy booking Baggage winning the whole tournament right now.
Okay.
Poetic justice would be, I don't think that Baggage can.
For me, it would be Baggage rotten in the final.
Well, yeah. But I don't think that Baggage can walk off the final no matter who's there.
Okay.
I'm not certain. Yeah, I'm not certain because if Mac Fleury makes it, I don't know. But Jimmy getting the game-winning RBI off of Trev would probably be the most poetic ending to this whole tournament.
Yeah.
I think we see Jimmy cry if that happens.
Okay.
You know?
I like it.
Should
we not get too far ahead of ourselves and do the...
That's what I was just about to say.
WTWs.
Our WWs... Our WWs famously, as Brendan said, we're going to go straight into our what to watch for Love Yas versus Baggage, baby. Oh, we're back to that, huh?
We're back to it.
Brendy, Love Yas versus Baggage. What are you watching for?
Love Yas versus Baggage. I'm looking to see, I know we've been talking about Jimmy for 22 minutes now. But
2 Jimmys.
I'm looking to see if Jimmy O'Brien can put Dalton in his place and take the MVP. I know the MVP is about the regular season, but I want to see if he can snatch the MVP crown from Dalton's clutches and say, fuck you, I can hit you even though you've been the best pitcher so far this season.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see if he can hit the best of the best. This is a great pitching duo. Let's see if he can continue to hit good pitching and see his hot streak keep on rolling on.
For sure. I mean, my what to watch for goes hand in hand in that. Nikki Cass has let up the 4th most hits this tournament. And the big differentiator between him and everybody else is that he has played less games than everybody else in that stat. 10 hits let up against a team that just seemingly cannot stop hitting.
Right.
You need both of your guys to pitch. We know that Dalton's great. We know that Nicky can be great. Famously a former plastic surgeon. Not in life, in like the award.
Oh, maybe.
Oh, he might have been. We don't know.
Those thighs.
But Nicky, I want to see how Nicky takes Jimmy and Jake. Because like we said, Jimmy and Jake both above league average for batting average, above league average for OBP, above league average for slugging percentage.
Yeah.
Jimmy O'Brien over 2 for OPS.
Wow.
That can't be right.
It could be. I mean,
it is because his slug is so high. But I want to watch how Nicky, who has played 2.5 games, thrown 128 pitches, and let up 10 hits, with 6 walks, is now going to attack a Baggage team that has found their bats and know how to make pitchers pay for their mistakes, pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, even before this game that we just saw by Baggage, I would go into these What to Watch Wars being like, oh, Luis is gonna fucking carve up Jimmy and Jake. They won by the skin of the teeth. They won like a 2-1 game. They still, I know Jimmy's been hitting sort of, but like, you know, the combination of Nicky and Dalton is just gonna make them look silly. But they really have, like we've been saying, announced themselves as two guys that can make good contact with seemingly any pitcher. Right. A great pitcher in Jimmy Norb that they really did just absolutely knock out.
Dismantled.
They passed the test. Let's see if they can do it again. And Nicky, on the other side of things, let's see if you can make Baggage look like how they usually do.
Brood.
Let's see.
If you want to make Baggage look how they usually do, Brendan, what should you be drinking?
Drink Subtle Tea. It's a drink made by me. You can find it at thesubtletea.com. Use $2 off your order. Use it. Use it well. Use it. Get $2 off your order. Use the Happy Boys code for that particular promotion.
Delicious.
And watch the Happy Boys wherever you get your podcast, especially on YouTube. You can also watch this very podcast on YouTube as well. Blitzball Boys, subscribe, comment, love us. Peter, do you have anything you like for the commenters to comment this episode?
Ooh, what a great question. Hey, just comment your props to Jimmy because he's been struggling for so long and he finally did it. You don't got to respond to a question this time. Just write in here. Good job, Jimmy. We love it for you. And if you don't love it for him, fucking hate him. Put it down there. Talk about how much you hate
Jimmy before you start.
Say good job, Jimmy, and then say, just fucking kidding, you nerd.
Yeah.
Take a picture of yourself and your address with a middle finger. Post it underneath the video on YouTube, which you can post pictures under YouTube.
You can.
Beyond that, thank you very much for listening. We really, really appreciate it. We love talking to you guys. Brendan responds to every single comment in the YouTube. If you want to talk to us on the Twitter or X. Peter Posk, Ruppy Puppy, RUPPIE, PUPPIE, both spelled wrong.
That's the key.
Beyond that, Brendy, ask me the question.
Got anything else you want to talk about?
Nope. Bye.